everyone, come on in because we are here to review Ready to Love, season 11. We on episode 12, y'all. We made it to the finale. And I got to tell you, when this episode first came on, I did not know what was going on, but we got a lot to talk about. There was a few twists. They did a few things different this year, but I liked it. They let Ashante leave with her dignity because Ashante knew the men weren't going to choose her. So they gave her the option, the choice, the privilege of saying, let me be the one. Let me be the one to say, I choose me. I loved it. I love the whole, what's that like on the day nap? A bumble? Is that what y'all do where you get to be the one that says yes or no first? I love the bumble twist. But hey, how are y'all doing out there? I know the weather is tough around the country. Some of y'all are in a lot of snow, a lot of rain, a lot of sleet here in California or Southern California. It's about 66. It's a little drizzle, but we not like y'all back east. So hopefully you can stick with me this whole time for this video. I'm going to do a long one for you back east people. That way you can snuggle up with a glass of wine, some hot chocolate, some cider, some tea, whatever it is. And if you're anything like Darius, maybe you can go get you one of them fur chinchilla coats and put it on and feel nice and toasty and get in front of a fireplace. I don't know. Go borrow one of these jackets from Mr. Darius. He had on the gorilla today. The gorilla. He had that one on today. Then he had a chinchilla later on. Darius couldn't live in California. They would have tore that jacket up. There would be paint everywhere. It would be paint all over them coats. But hey, we got started. With a brunch. And we had Ashley show up talking about, ooh, this was a good brunch. They had salmon and everything. We later on find out that Ashley is not a booty call, but a foodie call. But all the ladies was looking good. They were looking real good. Bello showed up in his glittery jacket like he was from Las Vegas, about to headline a show at the MGM Grand Hotel. Bello. And he and Dom were actually matching. I like Dom's dress. It was cute. Was it coincidence that they kind of had the same colors? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure Dom said, hey, I'm going to wear multi-colors, glittery. You wear the same. And Bella said, yeah, let me go in my closet to figure out what kind of new edition jacket I might got up in there that I could wear. But okay, and at the time, Ashley's running around talking about she not feeling too comfortable, not completely sure because she's not really trusting Darius' intention. I'm going to get into Ashley later on when her part comes in the very end where she's crying. I'm sick of Ashley, and I'm going to tell you why I'm sick of her. Okay, so hold on to your chinchilla coats because I got something to say about it. But this was an episode where Tommy lets everybody know that we're going to meet the ladies' family. Meet the ladies' family came at the end. I don't know. I almost feel like they should have just had a whole episode of this. I really could have got into it. I could have got into it because I learned about so much about so many people. We find out Ashante lets us know right away that, hey, meet the family. She's saying, I ain't even got no siblings. And so they're just going to have to meet the parents. I got a lot to say about a light bulb that went off in my head with Ashante, y'all. And I want you to stick around for my deep dive on that because I'm going to do that in this review too. But we found out last week that Ashante had a 10-year-old daughter. How did that get slipped in? We are slowly but surely learning more about Ashante. Ashante has a 10-year-old daughter. And I'm telling you, the pieces of the puzzle are coming together for me because like I told you, Ashante really is one of my favorites on this show. She really is. But I'm trying to help her. I'm trying to help her out here in the dating world because she's doing a lot of things wrong. But I like her. Some people think I spend a lot of time on people because I don't like them. Nah, I'm spending a lot of time on Ashante because I'm hoping somewhere along the way she watches a video and she learns a little bit from, sometimes even the audience, me, whomever. But anyway, we got to finally see the scene where Vince and Darius get into it. I was been waiting on this scene all season long. We saw it in the clips earlier on that they were going to be going at it. But we finally got to see it. But it all started because Dom asked what we thought was just a simple question: was, "Hey Darius, if you would you do this all over again?" And Darius says, "No, I wouldn't do it all over again." And then Vince says, "Well, why wouldn't you do it all over again?" And Darius says, "Because, I wasn't comfortable trying to juggle 10 different women." Vince says, "Well, you didn't have to do it that way." Here comes the antagonist, Vince. Vince is going to be an antagonist. I'm telling you, it's just the position that he likes to take. And the thing about a person like Vince is you can't take it personal because he's not just doing it to you. It's who he is. That's where a lot of people get tripped up with people like Vince. They get in their feelings, but you got to realize that's who Vince is. He likes to fight. He likes to argue. He likes to be an antagonist. I read down in the comments, someone told me Vince, although they say he's a service technician now, the word was that Vince is a 10-year veteran police officer. Okay, there's another piece of the puzzle. There's another piece of the puzzle. And let me tell you, that makes sense. It makes sense that he would be drawn to that line of work, the authority figure, right? What I say goes. I'm the law. This is the law. Follow the law. I'm the law. Because that's how Vince kind of walks around. He walks around as if he's the law. Like he's the popo. It all makes sense now. But anyway, Darius is like, I didn't have a lot of experience with the police. Popo. I know Darius has had some experience with the police in Detroit. I know he has. But Vince says, well, you didn't have to do it that way. You didn't have to juggle 10 women. And Darius said, well, I wouldn't do it again, but it was a beautiful experience. What? It was beautiful, but you wouldn't do it again? Okay, we'll roll with you. We will roll with you, Darius. But Vince couldn't stop. He kept arguing and arguing and arguing and saying, that's not the question. Roll down your window. How many drinks have you had? Roll down your window. Don't you know you was going 45 in a 35-mile-per-hour speed zone? Give me your driver's license, your registration. Get out the car. Put your hands on top of the car. Get on the ground. Spread your legs. Vince is coming here to pat down Darius. He said, you got on all this chinchilla coat and gorilla coat. You could be hiding a concealed weapon. Get out the car and get on the ground. That's not what I asked you, Darius. That's not the question. Answer the question. Woo, Darius, you better go ahead and do what this man tells you to, otherwise you might get shot in the back. Talking about you as a threat. Talking about, I thought he had a gun and all it was a fox head. Did y'all see the Reddit post about the Reddit post making a joke of Darius's foxes? Vince better be quiet before Darius sick this fox on him. Vince might have a police dog, a canine unit, but Darius got foxes and coyotes and chinchillas. The police dog against coyotes. Who gonna win? Who gonna win? A police dog, a canine unit about a coyote? I tell you. I'm up here clowning. I'm clowning because this was hilarious. But anyway, Vince, he's down in the weeds talking about, I thought the question was, would you do it a second time? They're going back and forth, back and forth. Darius is saying, I said what I said, what I said. Honestly, I was on Darius's side. Vince is over here, tomatoes, potato. The point of the matter is, Darius said, I ain't doing it again. If I knew what I knew now, I wouldn't do it, and I wouldn't do it a second time. How's that, Vince? Does that answer your question? Does that answer your question? And Ashley should have been paying attention, because what Ashley should have learned was what Darius was saying was, you wasn't worth all this work, right? Because if Darius walked away with the love of his life, even if it was a tough process, he would say, hell yeah, I would do it all over again if it meant I could meet a lady like Ashley. Let me tell you something. If you go through something and it brings you the love of your life, then why wouldn't you do it all over again if it's going to lead you to the same road? So I hope Ashley was listening, but probably not. And even if she was listening, all it did was make her like Darius more. Like she said, when Darius was over there yelling at Vince, talking about shut the fuck up, and then Vince, sort of like talked down to him and saying, telling other people don't listen to Darius. He don't understand the question. That was rude, disrespectful, all that kind of stuff. But you know who liked it? Ashley. I'm gonna tell you later why Ashley gets on my nerves. I'm gonna tell you. But all that back and forth, all that fighting, you know who was attracted to it? Because she felt she was being protected and taken up for. Who liked it was Ashley. Ashley. She was attracted to all that bravado coming out of Darius as well. Like I said, of the two, I thought Darius was on more solid footing than Vince, because Vince is just an antagonist just to be one, right? I know, what? I know Vince stopped a whole lot of people for a broken tail light. I know he did. I know he stopped you for a broken tail light. I know he stopped you because your tent was too dark. I know he stopped you because you had a real nice car, like you was driving like a Porsche or something, and you didn't have no front license plate, which is technically illegal. But who the hell gonna put a front license plate on a 911 Carrera GT3? No one. Okay, but Vince gonna say the law says you should have one, so I'm gonna pull you over for it. He's an antagonist. He like to do it because he can. I'm pulling you over. Pull over. But anyway, he starts talking once again. Let me stir up some trouble. He said, we really shouldn't be talking in between, the lounge, because there's supposed to be a brotherhood, a secrecy, a police code. And Darius was right. Darius was right in that what Vince was trying to do was point out the fact that it probably was Darius who told Ashley that what's his name, Cardi said that Ashley was a foodie call and not a booty call. I already know that about Ashley. The only reason Ashley is with Darius is to get some furs and to have a rental car, having a car to drive where her car was getting fixed. Basically, what everybody is saying is Ashley is attracted to the goodies she can get. Hear me out. She is attracted to the goodies she can get. Put a pin in that, because I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk about it, which is why I'm done with Ashley, because she's just looking at what she can get. But I guess along the way, Darius was the one that went behind the men's back and spilled the beans. That's what Cardi said about her. But when Vince is over there talking about betraying trust and betraying people's confidence, Vince, weren't you the one just last week breaking Ashley's trust and telling Darius to his face that Ashley confided in you about some of the things she was uncomfortable with? What's the difference? What is the difference, right? Hypocrite. You talking about spilling secrets, violating trust. You did the same thing, because if Ashley trusted you with that information, you should have never told Darius what Ashley told you. But you did. So you're the wrong, maybe a good message, but the wrong person delivering the message. Like I said, pulling me over for no reason when you do the same old thing. Get out of my face, Vince. Get out my face talking about it's supposed to be a safe space. No, it's not. Just like when the police pull you over and you go through one of them, what do you call them? Where they ask you a question about have you been drinking? It's not a safe space. There is no safe space with the police. When they ask you, here's a tip. And I got this from a police officer. If you coming from a party and you had one beer or two beer and they ask you, have you been drinking tonight? Maybe if you're an honest person, you'll say, hey, yeah, I was at a party, but I only had one beer. No, don't do it. You tell them I don't have nothing to drink. Nothing. You lie. Because once you tell them you have one beer, they got calls to pull on over in this lane. We need you to get you out the car, and we need you to, walk on the straight line and touch your toes. So No, Vince, there is no safe space with you, Vince, because you're an antagonist. You're going to find a way to any space we thought was safe. You're going to find a way to make it unsafe. Now, the real truth, Vince, is how did you get here? Go to therapy. It didn't start with being a police officer. You were drawn to that field of work because of something else. Go to therapy and figure it out, because right now, who the hell can be with Vince? We're gonna get on Donna. Donna girl, you better watch my last video. Did y'all see my last video? Because we heard that Camille and what's his name, Cornelius, broke up after 5 years. False hopes. Well, at least Vince ain't over here promising Donna nothing. He ain't promised her nothing but tomorrow. Nothing but tomorrow. That's it. But they go back and forth. Darius is telling Vince, shut the fuck up. Darius is trying to move on. Darius is trying to change the subject, because I don't really think Darius is a fighter. He's a lover, not a fighter. Darius don't strike me as the type who want to be out in the street fighting a man, because Darius ain't gonna want to, mess up the pretty face. Fighting people want to put Vaseline over the face, so the punches. Darius is putting Vaseline on the lips. He keeping them lips nice and greasy. Like he said, what's your skincare routine? What's your self-care routine? How your toes look? He's not trying to break no knuckles and break no skin fight with no man. So he ain't gonna get in no fight with Vince. And Vince is used to throwing you up against the car and slamming your head down on the sidewalk. That's what he's used to. And so, what's her name? Ashley liked it. But Bello came in. After, Darius was talking about, say it with your chest. Say it with your chest. With your slick ass mouth. But everybody said, yeah, Vince was sneak dissing the whole season. I believe it. Petty, petty, petty. And Darius has slipped in there that everybody says that Vince is jealous of him. I don't think he's jealous of you, Darius. I think that's wrong. I think he don't like people like you, because he had to deal with people like you in the street for 10 years. You trigger him. Really what it is, Darius, is you trigger Vince, right? He's tired of stopping pimps on the street because you be doing women wrong. He got trauma from it. Shoot, you triggered him. But anyway, Bello steps in. And say, hey, everybody, let's calm down. All season long, the men have been very respectful of each other. And we're here to find love, not gossip. Bello, you're not here to find no love. Stop it. You lying. You here to find someone to have love in the sheets with, but you're not here to find real love, Bello. Let's be real. Let's be honest. But anyway, he came in saying his Muslim prayer and said, Vince, you ain't got to stick the canine dog on Darius. And Darius, you ain't got to stick the coyote, the fox, the chinchilla on Vince. So let's keep it moving. So then we got to move on and we got to see Dom introducing her parents. Her parents have been married for 48 years. And she gonna meet, and Bella gonna get to meet the parents. And we find out that Dom's father is a pastor. I think she had told us that before. But what's interesting, before, Dom was talking about how, that Bello has already met her parents and her daddy loved Bello. Not really. She mustn't tell him he was a Muslim, because when this daddy showed up and Dom dropped the news that Bello was a Muslim, the daddy was not pleased. He said, that ain't my preference. That ain't my preference. So I don't know where all this love Dom was talking about. And then I didn't like Bello. Bello keeps talking about how traditional he is. I follow the Muslim faith. But there's a lot of telltale signs that it's just not true. First of all this free willy sex with women in Miami, getting women pregnant. And then a small thing that I noticed, may not be small to others, but I noticed it. And I say, hey, when you meeting somebody's parents and you walk into the room, or you walk into their house, or you walk into the restaurant where they're there first, When you walk in, men, I'm gonna say this to men and women, okay? Young girls bringing men home to meet her parents. You better coach your man first. If he don't know this, if he don't know this on his own, you need to coach him and let him know. If you walk into my house, you should not be grabbing on my daughter before you greet her father, before you shake his hand, right? You should not walk into a woman's house and not greet the parents first. This is 101. This is 101. And especially coming from a person who says that they're so traditional, right? Now, maybe you some new age people, you don't want to do that. That's fine. That's fine. But some traditions need to be maintained. And I didn't like that a person who calls himself traditional walks into a room, grabs all over Dom first, hugging on her like that without even saying hi to the daddy first. Not a handshake, not a hello, not an acknowledgement. No. You should do that first. Period, point blank. That's all I'm gonna say. He said he's from Toronto. He said he's from Nigeria. I know that's not acceptable in Nigeria. I know, where are my Nigerians? Okay, I know if Bello came to your house to meet your daddy, would it be acceptable for Bello to walk in your parents' house and hug on you first without greeting the parents? In fact, ain't they supposed to bow down to the knees or something? Let me know, Nigerians. Let me know. Because I ain't even in Nigeria, and I'm telling you right here in this house in the United States of America, that still goes. But Bella lets him know that he's developing real estate and that he's traditional and he want to be married. And that, the mama was trying to help her daughter and say, well, religion is just a guideline. That day, like, no, it ain't. Religion ain't no guideline. Religion is the word. It is the Bible. So the mother trying to get her daughter married, and the father is saying, I ain't buying it. I am buying it. And for the father, it's a stumbling block. It's a problem. But in the end, the mama said, listen, and Dom said, I'm a grown-ass woman. I'm going to make the decisions I want to make. I'm going to do what I want to do. And then later on, we see Dom cussing out Bello in the reunion because he was laying up in her bed, and obviously it went left. Like my thumbnail says, my man, but for how long? And obviously it didn't last long. It didn't last long. Dom, you should have known better. You really, I said this from the very beginning. Dom over here thinking she playing Bello, but Bello is playing her. Because all Bello wanted to do, like he said, he building he building 30 homes for high-end, wealthy Black people to live in. All he wants access to is Dom's Rolodex, her contact list, so he can sell these homes to her. Get out of here. But after that, we got to meet Ashley's favorite brother. He came through, and he got to meet Darius. Darius said Ashley was looking luscious. That fox around his neck just wanted to eat her up. It just wanted to eat her up. And the brother was like, what you like about Ashley? And he said, I love her heart. I love her spirit. Darius got the same answer for everyone. I'm telling you, it's like a pimp. He's like a pimp. He don't really have no original lines. It's just the same lines over and over and over again. And even Ashley sees it. Listen to what I'm saying. Ashley actually sees all the red flags in Darius, but she can't turn away. She calls out his red flags, but she can't turn away. What's that called when you know something's bad for you, but you do it anyway? I'm not talking about just saying you foolish. What I'm saying is you kind of got an addiction to it. When you know something is bad for you, your mind tells you it's bad to you, but you can't control your flesh to move away from it. That's an addiction. That's when your flesh has a mind of its own against whatever your mind is telling you to do. And every time Darius does something like this time, talk about communication style, communication style, communication style. And basically, Ashley is saying, well, my communication style is not the problem, it's yours. There go Ashley one more time, not really taking accountability for herself. Remember the last time when Darius was trying to tell Ashley, hey, we need to improve our communication style. And Darius said to Ashley, you know what? Hey, I was wrong in the way I spoke to you, and I probably need to correct that. And he tried to get Ashley to say, well, what is something you also think you should correct? And what Ashley said is, I just need to give you more grace. And I said back then, well, that's not really taking accountability, Ashley. That's just saying you get to stay where you are, but you give him more grace. And right here we go again, where she's saying Darius's communication is whack, but hers is not. And so he's got the problem. To be honest with you, I really don't find no problem with Darius's communication. I mean, the man walks around in a gorilla coat and chinchilla fox. I mean, what is it about Darius that he's hiding? He seems pretty clear and direct to me. I get it. I hear him coming into the room. I hear him speaking. I see him very, very clearly. He's not hiding. Somehow or another, Ashley thinks she's the one that's being completely honest and transparent. And like I'm going to tell you later on, I don't think so. I don't think so. Anyway, the brother didn't like no Darius. He didn't like it. He didn't like it. He didn't like all, just like Ashley said, the circles and the riddles. That Darius is tiptoeing around questions. The brother was like, it's a thumbs down for me, sis. Hey, sis, it's a thumbs down. But, Ashley said that this brother was her favorite brother. But remember, Ashley also told her she's the black sheep of the family, which means she don't take the advice of no one. She does the hell what she want to do. So even though her brother sat here and told her, and this is her favorite brother, the one she likes the most, the ones whose opinion she values the most, her brother basically told her it's a thumbs down. And what does Ashley do? Choose Darius. I told y'all that the biggest clue about Ashley was when she told us her family said that she was a black sheep. And I told you that means what they're saying is she makes bad decisions. So here we go again, another bad decision for Ashley. But we'll talk about that. Like I said, I'm going to talk about it even more. I'm giving you a little tidbit, but I'm going to really get into it towards the end. So stick around because I'm doing this in the order in which it happened. But next we got to see Donna. Donna came along and Vince is going to get to meet her brother and her cousin. And Donna fills in her brother and cousin, let them know, listen, I done an Excel spreadsheet with a Gantt chart and a vision board hanging next to my computer with my 3 monitors. And on my vision board, I have a timeline for love. I got a timeline for this PhD, and I have a timeline for love. And I'm 38 years old, and I want kids. So for the most part, I basically want to have my kids before 40. So I need to get married in 3.9 seconds. And Vince said he walking in on the timeline conversation. He said, this is a bad conversation to be walking in on. The very conversation I don't want to have is the conversation I'm coming in on. But, if at least Vince respected the cousin or brother and greeted them first. Okay. So, Vince comes from the police academy, the police world, and, so I appreciate that level of respect he gave Donna's family. But he told the brother and sister, they said, what's your passions? He said, health and fitness. Health and fitness. And I wonder, does he think Donna is fit? What y'all think? Because he really wasn't feeling that baby doll outfit last week. Do you think he believes Donna should lose a few pounds? Or do you think he likes her that way? Something tells me that Vince wants Donna to drop a few pounds. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. Deep down in my spirit, I feel like Vince wants her to drop a few pounds. But anyway, they start getting into this conversation about soft timelines, hard timelines, no timelines. They got 3 different categories. Donna is on the side of hard timelines. 2.9 seconds, I need to be married. Her cousin agreed with her. The brother said, well, I don't want hard timelines, but I do want soft timelines. Like there needs to be something, but I don't want to give a hard timeline. And Vince said, I don't want no timelines. So hard timelines, soft timelines, or no timelines. And Vince was pretty clear that I ain't got no timeline, except all I'm promising you is I'll be here tomorrow. That's it. That's as far into the future that I can project. And that is one day in the future. And the brother was saying, can you share, the cousin said, can you share some timeline with us? Vince was saying, no. You don't ask me no questions. I'm the police officer. You don't ask me no questions. I ask you all the questions. You see? And Vince said, we could get into an argument. I don't know what's going to happen. The brother said, well, wouldn't you get into an argument sooner than 5 years? I mean, because if you don't get into no argument sooner, then you must be hiding something. Don't worry, cousin. You don't have to worry about Vince not getting into no argument soon. He in an argument with you right now, and he just met you 30 seconds ago. Please. That's Vince gonna get in an argument the minute he start opening up his mouth. His whole mouth is an argument. His whole conversation, his whole speech is an argument, period. He don't actually know any other kind of way to actually have conversation. He does not know how to be in agreement. He's an antagonist. He a time waster too. I mean, the only way, let me tell you, any woman who want to be with Vince, listen, I don't think anybody should be with Vince, but if you really want to be with him, let's just say you hard-headed, you don't want to listen. If you really want to be with Vince, I'm going to tell you how to outwit him. The way you would have to get Vince to do what you want is to say you don't really want what you want. Because then what he will do is try to convince you to want that. Because he's going to take the contrarian position. He's going to take. So what you would have to do with him is be like, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know if you're the man I really want to marry. But, we could date. We could date. Because I'm really not sold on you. Not really. Not at all. We can go out, hang out. Not really sold on you. Because then what Vince would do is Vince would sit there and argue with you about, well, why am I not the man that you want? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with you? You see? And because Vince wants to be right, he would try to be those things so he could be right. He's not really doing it to please you. He's only doing it to be right. Now, if you don't want to go through all those mental gymnastics, then don't be with no Vince, which is what I'm saying. He ain't worth it. He ain't worth it. But there is a path. Listen, there is a pathway through everybody's personality. But you just got to figure out, do you want to do that type of work? And the type of woman that's going to get Vince to the altar is the woman that doesn't really want to go to the altar. That's who's going to get Vince. Because he's got to believe it's his idea. He's got to believe he's winning. He's got to believe that he's convincing you to do something that you don't want to do. He's got to believe that you are yielding to his thoughts and not to your own. So the thought can't be yours. The thought has to be his. So the minute you say the thought is yours, he ain't going to want it. Just letting you know. Donna. See, Donna is over here trying to figure out Vince saying 2 + 2 = 4 because that's how math works. Math, 2 + 2 is always going to be 4 in Donna's world. But Donna, in Vince's world, 2 + 2 = 0. Just to let you know. He don't agree with math. No. But we also got to move on. We got to see Ashante. We got to see Ashante said, and this is where I learned about Ashante, y'all. This is gonna be a little, go with me here about Ashante, because like I told you, I like Ashante. I want to say Ashante is probably my favorite on this episode of this season. But Ashante tells us she's an only child. Okay, new information. And then we got to see Ashante is her mom and her stepdad. Now, I don't know how long her stepdad has been her stepdad, but it sounds like maybe he raised her, because most people don't call you a stepdad if you weren't there during their formative years. Like if your mama got married in the last 2 years and you a grown woman, do you call him your stepdad? I don't know. Hey, y'all let me know. But when that mama finds out, because Darius shows up first, that Darius is 41, that mama says, dang, he's my age, which tells us Ashante's mom is young. So we know Ashante's like 31 or something. So maybe her mom had her when she was young. Let's just say 19, right? So that means her mom might be around 50. And so she's saying she's as close to Darius's age as Ashante is. I don't know. Let's just say that. And they asked Ashante, or they asked Darius what he liked about Ashante, and Ashante, he said that she's very pretty, but her purity, her heart, her vibe, she has it all. Same old things he's gonna say about Ashley. They said about Ashley too. Darius a one-trick pony, pimp vibe. And then Bello shows up. And that mama trips Bello up real good. Real good. Because Bello shows up talking about he got a 1-year-old. And the mama accurately pointed out and says, well, do you think it's too soon for you to be in this process, considering you got a 1-year-old? He goes, well, she's really not 1. She's 14 months. Don't buy nothing from Bello, because he's going to tell you it's $40. And then when you get your bill, it's going to say $50. And you're going to be like, I thought you told me it was $40. He said, yeah, but we got a service fee, a tax, a convenience fee. It's like buying tickets through Ticketmaster, going to a concert. Don't go to no Bello concert, because the ticket's going to be $200. By the time you get out of there, that damn ticket is $350. Okay? Because he done said it's a 1-year-old. Now she's 14-month-old. But by the fact that the mama carried her in the womb for 9 months, you got to give me 2 years on it. What the hell, Bello? What the hell? So at first he want to act like it's been a long time. But then when you ask him, well, do you have a set schedule to see the child? He goes, no, we haven't had enough time to set that up. Wait a minute. I thought it was a long time, not a short time. Like I said, read the fine print with Bello. Read the fine print, because there's a whole lot of hidden charges in there. A whole lot of hidden charges. Okay, being charged on your credit card. And then you're going to be over here saying, dang, I just paid $300 for a concert ticket and the ticket was only $150. He worse than Ticketmaster. He need to be sued, just like Ticketmaster was sued, all these damn convenience charges. But they were asking, the mama and daddy was asking, where are you going to be in 3 years? And Darius says, where I'm going to be? I'm going to have a wife, a family, everything, kids and a wife. Bella says, I want to build these 30 houses, these 30 community homes that I'm going to sell all to Dominique's friends and family. So this is where the light bulb went off for me with Ashante. After these men left, that mama said to her daughter, girl, we need to order some shots. And I said, oh, this is interesting. So Ashanti and her mom, being an only child, listen real carefully to where I'm going, y'all. Ashanti's an only child. And she's close in age. Her mama was young when she had her. So it wouldn't be, I couldn't put it past that Ashante and her mom kind of grew up together, right? You ever see those mother-daughter relationships where they're more like sisters sometimes, or they're each other's best friends? Because maybe in the early years of Ashante's life, maybe her mom was single. Maybe Ashante's dad was somewhere else, right? So Ashante grew up more with her mom like sisters. Let's get shots together, you know, not really having like this hierarchy in the house. I want you guys to hear what I'm saying. Not used to mother daughter, but mother daughter equalness. Because one thing that we've noticed about Ashante, everybody likes Ashante, and the reason why they like Ashante is because she doesn't elevate anybody in her life. It's friends. We're friends. We're right here. I'm not going to elevate you as my boyfriend. I'm not going to elevate you as someone that I like. I'm going to keep you right here, keep everybody even in the same playing field. You see? There's no mother, daughter. There's no siblings. So you don't have no big brother, little sister, big sister, little sister. No, for Ashante's everything right here. Ashante's also a salon owner. She owns her own business, right? And she's probably runs a shop with just herself. She's not used to corporate America where there are levels, hierarchy in corporations where you have, you know, your boss's boss, your senior VPs, your executive VPs, your presidents, your CEOs. Ashante's here, right? Here with her mama, no brothers and sisters, no bosses. You know, she told us that she's not really religious. So she ain't even got no hierarchy in religion, no God, no Jesus, no one above her. Everybody's just right here, even. So then when she gets into this world where everybody else lives, the truth of the matter is everybody else lives in a world of hierarchy. We do. Most people live in a society where there's mom and dad, father, kids, father, daughter, father, son, employee, boss, you know, followers, Jesus, followers, God. We have hierarchies, not in Ashante's world. So when she comes along in this dating world, she put all the people here. And here's the problem with that, Ashante, is people don't want to be equal with other people. If a man wants to be your man, he not going to like you putting him with all your other friend men. You see, you're not elevating them. You're not giving them no higher position in your life, because it really sounds like Ashante don't really have no experience with hierarchies, levels. And most people operate off levels. I want to get promoted at work. I'm going to give my mother respect as a mother, not as my friend, not my girlfriend. Yeah, you're my mama, but I want to be friends with my mama. But in the end, my mama is still my mama. You see, my daddy's still my daddy, you know, and I still work for this person. So I need to treat it differently than if we just co-workers. I'm not treating my boss like I treat my co-workers. And so without that, I think Ashante is out here in a world that she's trying to mimic her childhood world, but that ain't the world other people live in. She, like I said, she needs to switch that up. I keep saying it over and over again. Once she gets that part right, I think Ashante gonna have a winning dating formula. But right now, she need to iron that out. She really, really does. But in the end, the parents didn't like Bello. They say he was a used car salesman. You know, he called himself a realtor, but they know he's selling them something. He's selling something. He's selling a dream. And in the end, they said they like Darius better. Ooh. When you get chosen, when Darius gets chosen out of you, that ain't a compliment. It ain't a compliment. But after all the Meet the Family, we got to finally get to the finale. And I got to tell you, I did not know what was going to happen. I didn't know what was going to shake out. But Ashante came out. And then we saw Bello come out. And traditionally, it is the guy, or I don't know, is it traditionally the guy that gets to say, do I choose you? I don't know. But it was, from what I remember, anyone else can correct me, it was the first time that the lady had the two guys and then got to say what she wanted first. Am I wrong or am I right? Let me know down there, all my people down there who watched all these seasons with me, because I can't remember. But Bello said he had his speech ready, but he didn't need to give no speech. He said he had his used car salesman speech already of why he was going to tell Ashante that she couldn't drive off with this car. She couldn't buy this house, but he didn't even need it. And Darius showed up with his chinchilla, with his leather jacket. Thank God he's in Detroit, Michigan. And they broke out. Ready to Love broke out. Ready to Love, the Bumble edition. The Bumble edition, the Bumble app edition. And Ashante got to tell these men that, hey, you smart, you kind. I love that you love the world travel, Bello. Darius, I love the prayer and the uplifting words, the encouragement you give us. I love the empowering message. But I'm not going to pick either one of you. Bravo, Ashante. Bravo. Like I said, she going to keep you on the same level. Ashante is going to keep you on the same level. And she was true to herself to the very end, that these two guys got left on the same level. And what that same level was, I'm not picking either one of you. Neither one of you is better than the other one. Because what I realized what I was to you was just a placeholder connection. And none of you really pursued me romantically. Girl, Ashante, you had everybody in the friend zone, darn near. Nobody could get you, Ashante, to put them out of the friend zone on a higher level. But now you say they didn't pursue you. Well, they're not going to pursue you if you're not really giving them no extra favor. That's when this girl, you need to learn levels, hierarchy, Ashante. She run around talking about you didn't pursue me, but everything I kept hearing from Ashante all year long was, or all season long, was homie, friend. That's all I heard. So, but I was happy. I really was happy that Ready Love gave her that dignity and not allow Bello and Darius to get the ability to say no to her, knowing that she knew what was going on. So, hey, and when she walked away, what did Darius say? Man, I think a lot of us missed out on Ashante. I think we really missed out on Ashante. And I think Darius is right. I think Ashante is a good person, but not only are people missing out on Ashante is missing out on a lot of people. And that's what she's got to understand, that the way she's moving is people are missing her. Yeah. But that also means she's missing people. So it can't just be they need to make the change. She need to make some changes. She needs to make some changes. And then we got to meet, or not to meet, we got to see the decision of Vince and Donna. And when Donna didn't show up with no calculator, I knew this wasn't going to be a decision with the head. It was going to be a decision of the heart. I knew she wasn't going to stick to no facts, because the facts are there. I mean, Vince has laid out the facts. And he said, hey, I'm not with these hard timelines. And what I don't want is I don't want Donna to be resentful if I don't fall in line with her timeline. And for a minute, I honestly thought that Vince would tell Donna, hey, I'm not going to be able to match what you want. It's clear that what you want, I can't deliver. And I thought for a minute, Vince was going to be the one to tell Donna, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you go. But hey, he says, if you want to give me a treat, I'll take it. So he brought those hydrangea flowers, which were Donna's favorite. And he said, hey, if you can make this experience going forward organic, and we could just see where it goes day by day, minute by minute, then you'll be ready to love, and I choose you. What the hell kind of fine print is that? That's that fine print that Camille did not see with Cornelius. Okay, watch my previous video. Okay, that's the fine print. Read the fine print. Because what Vince basically said was, if you can have this experience to be organic and not have no hard timelines, then I choose you. But if you can't do that, I ain't choosing you. If you can prove you own this car, if you can prove, okay, everything I'm asking you, then I'll let you go and be on about your way. If not, you're going to have to get out the car, put your hands behind your back. I'm putting you in jail. Donna said, oh, I love your honesty. Honesty. I love the physicalness, the emotional, the physical safety, the emotional safety. So maybe the physical safety is the fact that Donna knows that Vince was a police officer, so she feels protected by him because he has a license to carry. And she said, I feel emotionally safe because what she's saying is, you don't lie to me. You see, physically, I feel safe that you actually could protect me physically against like someone physically accosting me because you are a police officer and you've been trained in this area. Emotionally, I feel safe because you're honest to me. And so I love your honesty and transparency. So I feel like you give me the ability to make my own decisions, but giving me the truth, because I do like facts and figures. And she says, so as a result of that, I'm going to reward you and say, I choose you too. And that's what she did. She signed on the dotted line. She signed the contract, even with all the fine print. And then later on, I suspect, like I said, my man, I suspect later on, Donna gonna want to breach the contract, and Vince is gonna be, that's fine. Or actually, Vince is gonna tell Donna, you breached the contract. And she's gonna say, well, how did I breach the contract? He said, right here in this fine print, right here, right here in this fine print, what I told you, if, then else. Donna, you know them strings, if, then else? Girl, they're not gonna be together. My man, for how long? Only for a minute. And now we get to the last, I do, yes, I choose you. And Darius showed up with the gorilla. One thing you got to give Darius, okay? He showed up consistently all season long. Darius is the same person at the end of this show that he was at the beginning of this show. He is consistent, okay? So it's really not for Darius to be different, because Darius is consistently a pimp. And if you don't want to see it, if you want to be blinded by the chinchilla and the nice faded haircut and the glossy lips, that's your problem. That's your problem, because Darius has been consistent. And he said, you know, Ashley looked good. She looked real good. He wanted to eat her up. And he told Ashley, you know, you done pulled out all kind of emotions on me that I ain't never shown no one. He said, I done prayed to God to ask God if we are in alignment. And God told me yes. And so I choose you. And Ashley is up there boo-hooing and she's crying. And I'm thinking, Ashley, what you gonna say? You gonna say no? Ashley, you see all the red flags. You see it, girl. I know you see it. I see it in your eyes that you see it. But my question is, Ashley, are you gonna follow what you see, or are you gonna follow what you hear? You gonna pay attention to your eyes, or are you gonna pay attention to your ears, the eye candy in your ears? Because what pimps know is most women are guided by what goes in their ears, not what they see. So Darius hides in plain sight, because Darius says, I don't really need to hide none of this pimp nature, this flamboyant nature, because as long as I tell a woman what she wants to hear, she's going to ignore what she sees and she's going to go with what she hears. And that's why he never changed his game plan. He says, my game plan with women has been working since I was in the first grade. Girls was kissing my ring since the first grade. Why do I need to change my game plan? As long as these women want to keep ignoring what they see and they keep want to go with what they hear, then I'm going to ride this to the end. I'm going to ride this to the end. So Ashley's crying. I'm thinking, oh, Ashley, are you going to really now start to pay attention to what you see and you're going to stop listening to what your ears is telling you? And Ashley is crying and Ashley is saying, I'm concerned because Darius, every time I feel like you're not really accepting me who I am, you always asking for correction, right? You always trying to mold me in another person. And Ashley's saying, I don't want to go back to that girl. You know, I've gone through a lot of therapy and I've tried to get rid of that girl who, it sounds like what Ashley is saying is she's trying to get rid of the woman that tries to become something to a man that he wants, but it's not really who she is and it's not what she wants. Because we can all see that Darius and Ashley are not even in alignment. So what is the struggle, right? So when Ashley says, I don't want to become who I was, it's too late. It's too late. Because if in your therapy, you were working on not becoming a woman who tries to become what a man wants, and you don't just be who you are and you see if the man wants you, you find yourself slipping into being molded by him, right? The question then would be, then no, your therapy hasn't worked, because here you are standing in front of a man in which you are obviously not aligned with, but you still can't make the right decision. So this is why I'm sick of Ashley. Ashley is the girl who bets on the long shot. Any of y'all out there horse race? She bets on the long shot, right? The one that everybody says, no, they're not going to win the race. They're not the horse to bet on. Ashley's the black sheep. She bets on the long shot. When Darius entered this season, everybody from the very beginning knew Darius was a pimp. Stevie Wonder could see it. But who did Ashley bet on? Darius. From the very beginning, she locked in on Darius, the long shot. The one that everybody else said is, that's not the pick. That's not the pick. But who did Ashley bet on? The long shot. The black sheep of the family picked the outlier. The black sheep of the family picked something that everybody else says, that's not the thing to do. That's what Ashley does. So has her therapy worked? No, it hasn't worked because she's doing it again. But here's the big problem, Ashley. Ashley's scary. Ashley can't really stomp with the big dogs like a Darius. She can't handle a Darius. That's why that sister of Darius has told her, how you going to be with a Darius, but you can't hang in Darius's world? You're not fit for Darius's world. You want to stomp with the big dogs, but you're not made for the big dogs. Ashley is that girlfriend. She goes, girl, what you doing? Say, girl, we going on a vacation. Where are you going? We going on an adventure trip. We're going to go zip lining. We're going to do whitewater rafting, horseback riding. We're going to go to the highest cliff. We're going to bungee jump. It's a full-on adventure trip. Because all of us, we like that adventure, and we're going to do it. I said, oh, I want to do it. I want to do it too. Can I go, girl? Can I go on the trip? And you say, you want to go? She said, yeah, I want to go. But then when she gets there on the trip, she's crying because she's scared. And she's asking us why we got to go on a whitewater rafting level 4. Why can't we go on a whitewater rafting level 1? Why we got to go to Six Flags Magic Mountain? Why can't we go to Disneyland and go on It's a Small World? Why we got to swim in the ocean where it's thousands of feet deep? Why can't we go swim in the shallow end with 3 feet of water? No. Don't ask me why I can't be different. I want to know, why the hell did you come on this trip? I told you what we was doing on the trip. We was whitewater rafting. We was zip lining. Okay, we was horseback riding. Right? We was going to be riding big roller coasters. This is what the trip is. You came And now what you scared about and you crying over in the corner about is that we not a safe space for you. Well, this ain't a safe trip. Darius is not safe. So Ashley, girl, this is why I'm sick of you. Okay? It ain't Darius's fault. It's your fault. And what your therapist should be working on you with is not you trying to hold your ground in a relationship or on an adventure in which you shouldn't have been there in the first place. What your therapist should be working on you is find a person whose world matches your world. See, Ashley likes to be a risk taker. She likes to go off on her own. Like she said, all her brothers and sisters went to college the safe route, not Ashley. Ashley did something different. But then she out here drowning. Stop trying to stomp with the big dogs when you're not made for this world. You see? Stop trying to ask the Dariuses of the world to make you feel safe. Why don't you go over there and find you a guy who's not a Darius, who is safe and boring probably in your eyes, right? And then you can be comfortable and he can be comfortable. But you know what? You like the long shot. You addicted to this shit, Ashley. You addicted to this shit. Ashley the type of person that chooses you for one reason, but then the very reason she chooses you, she don't want you to be that person. She's trying to ask Darius to be a person he's not. But Darius has shown her consistently who he is. You know, Ashley is running around here saying her real trauma is around men trying to get her to be someone different. Well, Ashley, that's what you're doing to men. You asking them to be safe, and you not choosing safe men. You choosing risky men. But you can't hunt in that world. Nah, girl. Go back to 3 feet of water where you can sit and sip on a drink and leave these deep waters to other people. You're not made for this world. That's why I'm sick of Ashley, right? Because what I get tired of with people is when they make their problems your problems. Ashley got her own problems. Ashley keeps thinking the problems in her dating world is because the men are trying to get her to be something she's not. And she's over here crying, talking about, I don't want to lose myself in you. No. The problem is you keep choosing those men in which you have to change because you're not equally yoked from the very beginning. You're not even in the same playing field. Nah, I ain't with it. I am not with it. And then we got to see Bello and Dominique to round it out. And Dominique and Bello came out. Bello said that she's beautiful inside and out. And he says, I choose you. Just make sure you bring your contact list, your Rolodex, so I can meet your friends, so I can sell them some of these houses. And Dominique said God whispered to her too. God done talked to a lot of people on this show and said Bello was it. He was the one. And she said she'd been waiting for him her whole life. And today she chooses him for day one. Bello got you good, Dominique. Bello got you real good. He ate up all them oxtails. And it sounds like he ate you up in that bedroom. And then in the end, he gonna go off like he came to this reunion with a full-on Muslim outfit. Bello gonna marry a Muslim woman. That's what I think. He gonna marry a Muslim woman. And he gonna eat your oxtails, eat you up, and then throw you away. Because he's kissing you. His hands is all over your butt. Y'all talking about you the one, you the one. This is just a bunch of lust. You know, they say that like these countries, like Muslim countries, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, they capital of porn industry. All this one way, I'm not driven by lust, but yet porn is prolific in these countries. Prolific. That's what I think about Bello. Bello need a woman that, I don't know, a woman that can just look the other way for 40 years. Let him do whatever he wants to do. And as long as she can be a stay-at-home wife and take care of the kids and the family, she'll be fine. So she's going to have to agree to all his dirty dog ways. Bello not gonna stay faithful in our relationship. He can't control his loins. He has no control over his loins. So, and maybe in his country he feels he can have several wives. I don't know. Bello picks and chooses which parts of his culture he wants, in his religion he wants. So I think he picks parts that benefit him and the other parts he throws away. But somewhere there and there, I wouldn't be surprised if later on down the line, Bello want 2 wives. That man can't be satisfied with just one. So it is what it is. Well, that's it, y'all. That's all I got. We're going to see on the reunion next week. My man. But how long? How long does this last? And from what we hear, it ain't going to last long. All righty, y'all. That's it. Talk to you later. Bye.